Hey everybody, I've missed you. It's Torian the Demigod, and you're watching GthDCAST. I wanted to make this episode about something cool, so we're gonna dive into super consciousness. But first, this is right around, I think, about a year since we've been doing the demigod thing. And that makes it our demigod anniversary. So cheers to that, and those who have been sticking around with us for around a year now, thank you very much. We hit double digits late last year, which was cool for me, and we hope the channel thickens. So stick around for more content, and definitely stick around for some merchandise. I'm going to make some stuff exclusive for those who are subscribers to the channel. I got some cool stuff coming out with the logo that you see, as far as the subscribe or the channel icon, and then I'm looking to get a border for the channel put up pretty soon. And yeah, the logo has come out to be really cool, and I'm looking to launch that very soon. So follow me on Instagram at Torian the Demigod, and on Twitter at Torian's Glory, for more knowledge on those sorts of things. And yeah, so let's dive into it. I wanted to start it off with talking about super consciousness. Let's talk about the Snyder Cut. Let's talk about the Super Friends. Why don't we? So yeah, just bringing that in because that's relevant right now. The Snyder Cut was recently released, and I've got some thoughts on, I guess, sort of the controversy that has been stirred up and involved with Ray Fisher, Joss Whedon, and the studio as a whole. I think right from the get-go, as soon as we got news that Joss Whedon was stepping in, it was very fishy from the start. It seemed right away that they were having creative differences with Zack Snyder right after Batman v Superman came out and wasn't as successful as they had originally planned. So after that, Zack was in high. Well, I think what the plan was is Zack had the trilogy for what was it supposed to be? Batman, Justice League, and then Justice League 2 or something. But he was in hot water after Batman v Superman turned out to be a disaster because it just wasn't very good, and I think people didn't like the way that the tone of those movies were going. So they wanted to take it in a different direction. And once Joss Whedon got his hands on it, many thought or inclined that the studio had to do with the changes that Joss made on the movie, but I strongly half disagree with that and believe that Joss Whedon made a lot of creative differences in his own right, because if he's the director, he's calling out, the shots as far as creating what new elements of the plot and the story are going to be on the screen. So with that being said, let's talk about what the differences were and why they're important. So to start off, Zack Snyder put his heart and soul into his version of the story that he wanted to tell. And that was clear and evident with how rich in plot and character development the story seemed to be. And just as an observer, and people on Twitter have blown this up, especially after Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg in the movie, had talked about his side of the story before and after the release of the movie. He says that the movie's pretty much evidence for his mistreatment by Joss Whedon and the studio, and I think that's clear as day. Like, his whole entire origin story wasn't even in the movie, which is ridiculous. It's like, how do you edit out the most important part of the movie And then Jeff Johns, who is the lead writer for, DC Properties, and was the studio head for DC for a while. I'm not sure if he still is or not, but he should be removed if he is, because what he said, not to Ray Fisher directly, but Ray Fisher caught wind of what he said afterwards, which is part of why this controversy is so, I guess, he said, she said to begin with, was because Ray Fisher wasn't in the room, but it was secondhand that he got the information. He just didn't want to snitch on the person that gave it to him, because he's looking out for somebody that looked out for him, which is, honestly, he's just doing the best that he can do, and I see that. But what's going on with Hollywood on an industry level is like, it's not even about race to them. It's just, it's about degradation. What he said, what Jeff Johns said to Ray Fisher, or about Ray Fisher's character Cyborg, is that he didn't want the centerpiece of the movie being about an angry black man. Now, when you have a character in a comic book whose origin story is introduced to be a character in a movie based on a superhero that's fictional, why would it matter? Why would it matter what color he is? How many angry white men have we seen in movies? Name a movie and the white guy's angry. What kind of nonsense is that? So that's not race. You have to see beyond just like, oh, the racism alarm. You have to see beyond that, because black people have been getting undermined, edited, and written out of, or whitewashed or watered down in the movie and entertainment industry since it has included us. So you have to understand that beyond the scope of, oh, these guys just don't like black people, it's like, no, they're gonna put them in the movie. They're gonna do everything that justifies them not being a racist, so they can, at the end of the day, say, oh, well, how could we be racist? We donated to these children that are darker skinned. Therefore, we can do no wrong. When really, this is about opportunity. This is about growth. This is just an audience getting to see a character growing, having an issue with his father, losing his father, turning from a bitter, depressed, depressed anti-hero of a character, a borderline villain, and he turns it around. And that, you don't even, I think in the movie that he got made from the box. That's all you know, I think. I can't remember what they said in the movie about him in the first one. But, there was a whole entire different movie. It's like, who Cyborg is now. And before, it was, the guy didn't even, he's like the only character on the Justice League without a suit. Like, he had an all CGI suit. They couldn't even, every fucking other character had, however many millions of dollars they spent on those collective suits, and then Ray Fisher's all CGI, and they cut his ass out of the movie. You know how much money they had to spend on him? Just visual effects? And they cut it all out? And they spent more money on digital effects on a fucking mustache removal? I don't want to make this whole thing about Justice League, but damn. Come on, Joss. Big Joss. Who you fooling, buddy? I mean, he didn't even. He took out one of my favorite characters, Martian Manhunter. He could have left that in. That could have been an end credit scene. That part was cool as shit. And he didn't want nothing. That was like the big reveal. That was supposed to be like the people wanting more. You know, you gotta leave the people wanting more. And instead he put some like fake ass Flash versus Superman speed competition in the end of the movie. Like, you know how disrespectful that is when Zack Snyder's version, you know how disrespectful that is just on a literary perspective, just like from writer to writer. You know how disrespectful that is to make Flash race against Superman at the end of the movie when the guy broke the Speed Force for the first time in the cinematic universe. Do you understand how sacrilegious that is? Most of you probably don't. But if you like comic books, it's a slap on the wrist, Joss. It's a slap on the freaking wrist. Yeah, guys. I mean, he didn't even and check this out. So like the Flash has a girlfriend and she's like not even fully black, she's half. And he fully cut her out of the movie. He said, no, not even half. You know, this is how racist Joss Whedon is, okay? He had a problem with black Superman, okay? He had a problem with the suit being black. You know, he went back and changed everybody's costume digitally. Like, give me a break. Give me a break. This is a new level of like, not only am I saying fuck you, Zack Snyder, I'm saying fuck all your fans. That's why I'm mad. That's why I'm upset, because this is bigger than a movie. This is they're just sitting there joking about it. And, you know, people are calling Ray Fisher a crybaby and a drama queen when really this dude is calling attention to something that is much bigger than himself. This dude's taking a huge risk. And it's like people that are like surface level, like 3D, that only see the illusion. They're gonna undermine him. And they're going to tear him apart. Well, they're not going to tear him apart, because he's probably much wiser and much more resolved than people give him credit for. Because it takes great courage to step out against your masters. Okay? It takes great courage. This is why they don't put us in these positions, Ray Fisher. Because of shit like this. I got nothing but respect for that, man. All right. Now let's get into it. Got to give the babies their milk, you know. Super consciousness. Now this is going to be the penultimate success when it comes to calming spirit and mind and reaching a divine place of harnessing the divine God life within you. And when you can reach such a place that you can touch the light within yourself, and not only touch it, but have it fill you. Have it blend within you and become you. and enrich your entire being. And that's a new level of ascension. But to get there, we must balance the subconscious with the consciousness. That was your upgrade. Last video. Be sure to like and subscribe. And click that thumbs up. But it takes great balance in order to unlock your true willpower. And it is within your willpower that you are able to resound within yourself the true beingness of who you are, of your light body. Willpower. Let's talk about willpower. Willpower is like willpower is magnetism. You can have negative willpower. You could have positive willpower. Okay. The electrical signals that fire out in your brain. Willpower is going to be based on the chemicals that are produced that are most polarized to whatever it is that you are most consistently feeling. So in other words, if you are chemically producing, and I don't know which chemicals they are. I don't have that down yet, but I know the four of them are dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and there's one that starts with an E. So I don't know them all. I lied. And endocrine, maybe. And when you are excreting these, the more that you excrete the positive ones, the ones that are less stressful, more calming, more peaceful, more I guess enjoyful, more joyous, more joy, whichever one makes you feel the best. That is going to increase your willingness to draw that in. You'll have a magnetism for you create what's an addiction, except you don't need a drug stimulus or stimulus that's physical. You create it with your mind. This is the law of attraction. And because the chemicals in your body are biochemically engineered, there are definitely certain potentialities of drawing in people or consciousnesses or frequencies that are similar to the resonance of whatever your chemical or biogenetic balance is. Those who have a similar bioelectromagnetism about them are more likely to get along, more likely to engage in the same social circles, more likely to frequent the same places. This is a very true thing. And this is why, you have like different cliques in high school. And everybody that seems to listen to the same music or like the same sort of extracurricular activities, or seems to have a very natural ability or physical skill, they seem to frequent in the same circles, seem to orbit one another. Yeah. And it is this magnetism that we create for ourselves that gives us a constant feedback loop of what is most serving for us at that time in our lives. Giving you guys the hacker's playbook right now. If you can reshape your perspective on reality, you can reshape your reality. It is about widening, and sometimes it is always just a matter of slowing things down. If you can slow things down, that is changing your perception. That is lowering the friction and the vibrations in your own mind. You're now operating in a different dimension, a different frequency. When you slow your operative vibrating rate at which you emit thought, or at which you perceive stimulus, you can slow it down, speed it up. And if you can control to do that in the waking life, I challenge some of you that have vivid dreams or lucid dreams, or those who can astral project, I challenge you to slow your dreams down and to just be a pilot in your dream. And if you're beyond being a pilot, see if you can start directing your dreams. And if that's too complicated, start with your daydreams. If you can direct your willpower in the dream world, if you can strengthen your willpower in the dream world, well, see ya. You're Neo. You're the demigod. But yeah, it's a matter of harnessing your inner true willpower, guys, gals, brothers and sisters. And it's a matter of balancing the consciousness with the subconscious. And when you start to reveal your subconscious to yourself, when you start to communicate back and forth, consciousness to subconscious, excuse me, indigestion, you know. When you start to hear the you that is calling you, the you that you can ask questions and immediately answer, that's the you that you need to cleanse, detoxify, purify, heal if it needs healing, strengthen, build trust with this version of you. Let this inner childlike version joke with you, have fun with you, create a way that you guys can communicate that is energetic, fulfilling, fun, full of life, because this is your companion. This is your new plus one. And really, you're the plus one, buddy. So get used to you. And when the one is two, what shall you do? This is you building the Trinity. The Trinity is just, it's going to keep resounding. You're just going to keep finding Trinities in places that you haven't looked at in a very long time. But once you balance the consciousness, the subconscious lays way for the superconsciousness. That, why is that important? Why reach for that? Why is it not enough to just live a loving and happy and wise, wholesome life? Well, because we're boundless, and infinity, it just wants to keep going. And when you can reach this wiser version of yourself, the infinite wisdom, the light keeper, they call me light bearer. When you can reach this state of mind and understand that this you of who you are, you can communicate with this version too, the superconscious. Superconscious is not as frequent as the subconscious, as the inner child, but the superconsciousness is sort of a state of mind that's waiting for you to put down the foundation for it, so to speak. So if you were to create the ultimate version of yourself spiritually, remember there are no physical bounds here. Begin to create that for yourself and let it be of the highest service to you and the highest service to the universe beyond you, because congratulations, you're building your light body. Think of this as your spiritual coming of age story. That this is what you came here for. To begin what is the ultimate version of you. And that this is your infant stage. This is it. This is what we get to do for ourselves in this waking 3D life. We get to find our existence within so that we can connect to a higher version of whatever we can perceive to be closest to God. Don't force it. Let it be. It is meant to be. And it will fall in line with everything and more than you expect. You just have to understand that this is you. That this is what is meant for you. To be awakened. So that your soul may live freely. Through in and throughout you. As above, so below. Free soul here. Free soul there. Remember that. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of GthDCAST. And looking forward to seeing you soon. Take it easy.